Hi, I am Pasi Sahlberg, and I'm speaking to you from Sydney, Australia. I'm a professor of education policy at the University of New South Wales here. Before coming here 2.5 years ago, I spent some time at Harvard University in the United States, and then I worked a number of years in Finland, in Helsinki, in a different positions at the Ministry of Education and in Finnish universities. And during my time in Finland, I had an opportunity to host hundreds of visitors, many of them from the United States and Canada and all over the world, who came to Finland to see what Finnish schools look like and what might explain Finland's good performance in educational comparisons internationally. And of course, people don't find what they're looking for, because answering why education systems are doing well is very complex and complicated thing. So there are different theories, different explanations for that. But one thing I did with these people often, if I have a chance to say goodbye to them before they were leaving Finland, and my question was, what are you taking away? What is your most interesting and important thing that you take with you from Finland? And very often I hear people saying things like, now I understand how much teachers and schools are trusted in Finland. Some people say that now I realize that it's really important to have this trust to be able to get good results out of the schools. So a couple of years ago, I met Tim Walker in Finland. Tim is an American teacher who is teaching in a Finnish primary school, and he's also author of Teach Like Finland book that is widely read. And we sat down with Tim, and we both started to talk about this trust issue, that how easy it is to say that teachers are trusted in Finland or they are not trusted in some other countries, but it's much more difficult to really create a picture. What does it look like? How do you build this trust in teachers and schools that you can see in Finland? And we decided to write this book called In Teachers We Trust. And of course, the first question we needed to agree among ourselves, Tim being American and I'm being Finnish, is that how much trust there is in the Finnish society overall. And this is really the first important notion, is that there seems to be more trust between people, citizens in Finland than in many other countries. There's certainly more trust in public education system in Finland compared to many other countries. Public education system is held as one of the most trusted institutions. And the third thing was that Finnish parents like myself, for example, or Tim now, that we seem to expect that our own children are able to and capable of doing their daily activities much younger and earlier than in many other countries. For example, that they are responsible for their own homework, or they are trusted to go to the corner store, do some groceries, or at the age of 11 or 12, they are trusted to babysit their younger siblings. And this is not the case here in Australia or in many parts of the United States. So we started with the story of trust overall. And then we moved to look at what does trust look like when we walk into the Finnish school and classrooms. And there are three things really that are very important to understand. If you want to build more trust within your school or in your community, I think the first thing that really needs to be looked at is that how much teachers are trusted to decide what goes into the curriculum, what goes into the teaching in their classrooms throughout the school. And that's where the Finnish teachers are very extraordinary. They are really trusted in deciding not only the syllabus and curriculum, but what the school should do within the national framework. So the teachers are trusted to plan and design their own curriculum. Then secondly, it's very important that the teachers have freedom to decide how this curriculum will be delivered, how the teaching will be organized. And this is again where Finnish teachers have a lot of flexibility and autonomy to decide how they teach their children, how they organize the work of the school without the kind of a burden of unnecessary standards or expectations. So this brings a kind of a additional dimension into this trust-based profession that teachers have. And then finally, the third thing that is really important in the Finnish school system and has a central point in our book as well is that how much teachers are trusted in assessing and evaluating their students' learning. As many people know, that Finland doesn't do any standardized assessments on students that would include all the students all the time, like in many parts of the United States or here in Australia, but teachers are responsible for the assessment, and teachers collectively are responsible for evaluating how their schools are doing. So putting all these three elements, designing the curriculum, deciding what to do, the pedagogy, and then judging how well students are learning and how well the schools are doing, are really important ingredients in this trust-based profession that Finland has. Of course, you understand that this would not be possible without having teachers that are trained and prepared to be worth of this trust. And that's why if your question is that how do we do this, what does it require to do this thing, the important thing is that teachers have to be prepared and educated as professionals, just like any other professional in the society. So in our book, we kind of make a statement that the schools improve at the speed of trust. And we mean that the more trust we are able to build in our schools, so that we trust our teachers and schools in what they do more, or even better, that we are able to trust the system of education more than we do now, the more likely it is that we're going to see improvement and change in these schools over time. Now we have been living through this horrible pandemic throughout the world. And one thing that we have seen already in the systems, like in the Finnish system and some others, that whenever teachers and schools are trusted as professional educators, that these solutions and ways to navigate through this pandemic, whether it's about the school closures or locking down people and learn from home, that oftentimes these schools and teachers and communities find the easier and smoother way through this very difficult and harmful time than those that have not been trusted traditionally, or those schools and teachers who kind of expect that they need to be told by some others and then controlled that they really do what they need to do. So this is our story about In Teachers We Trust, and we really invite you to take a look at the book. And if you want to dive deeper in the Finnish classrooms and in the minds of some of the Finnish teachers and principals, take a look at our book. And we hope that you get a good picture and good idea of how important trust in teachers and schools are, particularly in the times like this. So thank you for listening and take care.